Hi College and Career Success. Welcome to your week 2 assignment video. So hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable now that we're done with our very first week of the semester. But as a reminder, up here under Start Here, the welcome video will be there the entire semester, as well as the upload and file video, and then all of the other resources that you may need to revisit just in case if you wanted to go back and take a look at those. All right, so as we scroll down here, we're finished with week 1. We're going to take a look at week 2. Week 2, it covers chapter 2 and chapter 3. Again, this is a 16-week course, 3 credit hours, slammed into 8 weeks, and so we're just going to have to cover quite a bit every week. So the chapter 2 lecture and the chapter 3 lecture videos are already uploaded. I will be having your week 2 assignment videos. I'm going to split them up. So this one is going to cover, this is last summer's, but this is where it will be. This is going to cover just the chapter 2 assignments, and then this one will cover just the chapter 3 assignments. That way the lecture video, the assignment video is not terribly long, but you can look at them in different parts to make sure you're getting it all together. So let's take a look at what you're doing this week. So week 2, as I said, we're in chapters 2 and 3. So you have 2 discussion boards. So it tells you right there, you have to post an original response by Wednesday, and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. That means you have to respond in both forums and then 4 responses total. So if you only respond in one and not the other, you're only going to get 50% attendance credit. So please make sure you post in both by Wednesday and then respond to 2 classmates in each forum by Sunday. Then you have chapter 2 assignments, a chapter 2 quiz, a chapter 3 assignment, and a chapter 3 quiz. So quite a list of things, but I'm going to do what I did in week 1 and email you after you've completed the week. That way you know you're on the right track. But you can also feel free to send me an email and say, hey, am I all done? Do I have anything missing? Because I want to make sure that you're comfortable with everything you're doing. So as always, I encourage you to spend time in the material somehow, whether that is watching the lecture video, or maybe you're getting into the materials folder and you're going to go to the slides show or the textbook itself. So there are materials for both of those here. There's the slideshow, and then here's the link that will take you right to chapter 2. So let's go ahead and jump into chapter 2 assignments. So I know this is week 2. This is just going to be chapter 2. I will come back with a separate video that's going to walk you through chapter 3 assignments so that this video is not too long. All right, so chapter 2 discussion. So we're going to click go to discussion. Here is your prompt. Amanda is struggling in her history class. She is good at remembering dates and facts, but the tests require her to analyze historical events through cause and effect. She's not sure how to change her learning strategies to meet these requirements. What advice would you give her, and why do you think it would be helpful? So remember your word count. You need to be about 150 words. Now if you're a little under, no big deal. But you need to make sure that you're responding to the actual prompt as well. So think about how you would encourage her to change her studying, what kind of tips or strategies you would give her, and why would that be helpful. Chapter 2 talks about learning styles, excuse me, so you can go back and revisit that if needed. And then whenever you've posted by Wednesday for your weekly attendance, come back in and make sure you respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. Okay, so that is your discussion forum for the week. I'm so sorry. That is your discussion forum prompt for the week. So please make sure that you post your original response by Wednesday and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. We're going to go back and take a look now at your first chapter 2 assignment. This is called Mindsets for Success. So we're going to open that up. I've got too much going on up here. I'm going to close a little bit. Here we go. Mindsets for Success. So this is a PDF in which you can type right in. So chapter 2 also talks about the growth mindset, growth versus fixed mindset. And so on the left-hand side, we have a column of fixed mindset statements. This is too hard. I don't need help. I'm just not good at whatever it might be. And notice for whatever reason, this is too hard is listed twice. You can ignore that last one. So in this one right here, I'm just not good at, you can just fill in the blank going, I'm just not good at math. I'm just not good at writing, whatever it is. Now, on the right-hand side, you're going to turn that statement into a growth mindset. So the fixed statement example is this is worthless. Growth mindset by saying, okay, well, I can practice discipline and focus. So maybe you look and see, like, I don't need to complete my work on time. Your growth statement could be something like, it's important I finish my work on time so I can practice meeting deadlines, whatever the case is. The growth mindset is supposed to allow you to, kind of what it sounds like, to grow, to allow for room to change, evolve, improve. So you're going to have those statements right here. When you are done, I had to type in there to show you this, come up here to the corner and save it with your changes so that way you're not uploading a blank document. So that is the chapter 2 assignment, the growth versus fixed mindsets. It'll call it the mindsets for success. So you will Dropbox that after you fill that out. Your next chapter 2 assignment is called 10 and 25 years from now. You will open this up and it will also open up into a PDF in which you can type in. And so this is kind of about goal setting. So you're going to think about these different areas and where you're going to be 10 years from now and 25 years from now. It sets up this scenario that like, hey, you run into your teacher. So where are you going to be with your education 10 years from now? And again, 25 years from now. Relationships, financial status, living environment. Others, I've had people talk about like travel, animals, hobbies, or you can leave it blank, whatever works for you. So again, when you are done, you'll come up here and make sure you save it with your changes so that it doesn't upload a blank document. So again, this is just about goal setting and kind of envisioning where you're going to be. So you will submit that as well. Finally, you have your chapter 2 quiz. This is a Word doc. So when you open this, you'll have 5 questions. This looks just like your chapter 1. You'll have 5 questions and you need to respond to each in 2 to 5 sentences. So question 1, think about teachers and experiences you've had in the past. What ways did they maybe doubt you or cause you to doubt your potential? In what ways did they inspire you to believe in yourself? Based on what this chapter talks about grit, what is your current belief that you will reach your goals? Question 2, if you have, your own children, younger siblings, nieces, nephews, cousins, whoever, what kinds of messages are you sending about working hard to reach a goal? What messages are you sending about struggling and failing? Do you think you should change those messages, and how can you do that? Question 3, when was the last time you asked a question in class? That could be like, it's really referring to an in-person class. So maybe it was last semester, maybe it was a year ago, just so think back on that. How did it make you feel? Were you worried about what others would think, or were you more concentrating on the answer? What were your thoughts? And kind of analyze what you learned from the experience of asking questions, because sometimes students really do have a hard time with that. All right, number 4, do you have a fixed or growth mindset? So this kind of goes back to that assignment we were just talking about. In ways do you see yourself? How can you knowledge, or how can knowledge in general about fixed versus growth mindset influence your decisions and future actions? And then finally, question 5, have you ever heard about the hidden curriculum as described? And then maybe talk with someone, it could be someone that you work with, you live with, and see if they've heard about it before. And then what are things that a college student needs to know about college that no one tells you in advance? Make a list of them. So maybe when you got to college, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known this before enrolling in this class or enrolling in college in general or financial aid or registration, whatever it might be. All right, so please make sure you answer all 5 of those questions in 2 to 5 complete sentences and then Dropbox that as well. All right, so as a recap, just for chapter 2 assignments, you're posting your original response in the chapter 2 discussion form that talks about Amanda and her studying habits. You are completing both chapter 2 assignments, which are PDFs, the 10 to 25 years from now you, and the growth versus fixed mindset. You're uploading those, and then you are completing and submitting your chapter 2 quiz. I will be back with the chapter 3 assignments, which you are also doing this week, but I will have a separate video for those. I'll see you then.